Hey everyone, welcome back to the Twim Show. This is your host Sajid Islam. Today I'll be going over episode 105, which is from the week of April 18, 2022. And let's jump in. Today, first off, I'm going to actually dive right into an announcement from web.com. We haven't really covered web.com before. However, this is something important enough for me to bring it over is that web.com has launched an e-commerce platform. This is similar to Shopify from what I've read. It's like, it's a solution where they have inventory management, SEO is baked into the solution. They have marketplace integration. So you would probably be able to, they're claiming that you would be able to send your products in your web.com shop directly into Facebook Marketplace. Then they have shipping integration, they have drop shipping management, purchase order management, shipping management. Overall, it seems to be very comprehensive. I will be putting the link to the announcement in the show notes if you want to check it out. The reason why we are covering this in this podcast is because our podcast is primarily focused towards small businesses and marketing and anything that will help you grow your business. And obviously, if you have a WordPress shop, which is eCommerce, we have covered Shopify and now web.com, you have plethora of choices in terms of what platform to use. And for some reason, if your Shopify store gets banned or they kick you out, maybe Shopify doesn't take drop shipping, maybe web.com is a platform for you. With that, let's move on to the next update. So Google this week has announced or released their 2021 web spam report, and they're calling it SpamBrain. That's the name they're giving to the artificial intelligence that detects and de-ranks, de-indexes spam from the web. Obviously, SpamBrain is something not new. They actually talked about SpamBrain in 2018. However, now they're officially calling it SpamBrain. Now, why are we covering this update in this podcast is one of the things as I was reading through their web spam report, and I will put a link to the web spam report in our show notes, is like, they have seen about quite 6 times more spam sites in 2021 than they did in 2022. They have reduced a lot of stuff, but deep down in the report, they've talked about page quality, content that is considered spam. And that's something you need to focus on, right? And we've been publishing a lot of blogs lately around, good best practices, things like that. So if you're a small business or if you have an SEO person and that person doesn't, talk about things that are must do, like, content length and, showing expertise, authoritativeness, things like that, then you probably don't have the right, SEO person, or you're not doing the right things for SEO. Now, why I say this also, another thing is you need to keep in mind is you don't have to do the work, but you need to know so that you understand if you're hiring or if you have the right person working on the right stuff, because if not, you're going to lose out, right? With that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next update, and I will put a link to the web spam report. Check it out. However, if you don't want to read it because, it's a bit boring and it has a lot of technical stuff, what I would suggest is you follow Market and Grow and look at some of the blogs that we are publishing, because these are actually blogs that we write based on feedbacks from Google's John Mueller or from, reports like this one. And we're kind of figuring out what's the must-know blogs and SEO strategies for a small business. Okay. With that, let's move on to the next update, which is from YouTube. YouTube has decided that they will highlight top shorts clips in trending tab. And it's going to be arranged by regions. And this is a good thing. So it seems like, shorts on YouTube are actually catching on, and they are the only worthy competitor to TikTok. According to YouTube, shorts clips have already been, have reached over 5 trillion with a T total views. And what they're going to do is they're going to highlight the best performing shorts video in your region at any given time on the shorts tab, right? On the short shelf. Now, there are a couple of things you can do out of this. Number one is you can see what type of short videos are trending in your region, and then you could kind of reverse engineer it and kind of figure out, okay, what's in this video that's really going viral, Now, obviously, if you have a business to run, this is something you cannot do. And this is where you bring in help, such as your marketing person or your assistant, and they can kind of start doing things, right? And keep in mind, something that goes viral does not necessarily mean that, that's in line with your, business or what you do. But nevertheless, it's a good thing for you to see what's making to the top. Now, if it's always cats and, dogs or other things, song and dance, then probably, you can ignore it. But nevertheless, it just shows that, YouTube Shorts are here to stay. They're catching on. And obviously, the monetization aspect of it, right? With TikTok, monetization is hard because you have to get monetized from either from the creator fund or from something else. But with YouTube, obviously, if you have a YouTube channel and you're doing shorts, people come in, you have a lot more revenue options. So that's probably the reason why YouTube Shorts are doing better than probably Instagram Reels as well as TikTok. Okay. With that, let's move on to the next update. The next update is from Microsoft Search. Microsoft Advertising has decided that they're going to extend RSA, which is the responsive search ads migration deadline, by 2 more months. So instead of from June, they're moving it to August, end of August. Again, responsive search ads are those automated AI-driven search where you give a bunch of headlines and a bunch of descriptions. Like usually in Google, it's 5 and 5. And then it's going to mix and match and serve your content to the searcher. Whereas the other one, expanded text ad, which was like static. Oh, this is my ad 1, this is my ad 2, this is my ad 3, and then it will serve the ad. Now what you do is you give it a 5 headline 1, 5 headline 2, and 5 headline 3, and 5 descriptions, and Microsoft is going to basically mix and match and play around with it and show it through. This is something very standard with Google search ads as well. Again, whatever happens in Google search, Microsoft copies, and vice versa. I mean, if you've been listening to the podcast late for some time, I talk about it. All these platforms are copying from each other, so there's nothing new about it. But I thought I mention it so that, that there's time. It's not, end of June. By the way, Microsoft is also having an automation bootcamp on May 10 through 12. If you want to sign up for it, go ahead. The link is in our show notes page. Okay. With that, let's move on to the next update. The next update is on Snapchat. Snapchat has released the Q1 2022 results, which is basically the earnings report from Q1 2022. And what they've reported is 13 million more users in Q1 and increase in revenue. This is a good news. This is a good news because for Snapchat, obviously, I would say a bad news for Facebook. Snapchat seems to be adding, they have added most of the users in rest of the world category, which is AKA India. That's where it's kind of catching on. And what Snap is also saying that their dynamic ads, which allow advertisers to upload their product catalog and have Snap system match users with the most relevant product and ad formats depending on user interest, were a big revenue highlight for the quarter. Basically, what they're saying, dynamic ads are working well at Snapchat. So if you have a product that is targeting the younger generation, Snap is probably the platform for you, and stay away from meta platforms such as Facebook and Instagram. I say this because again, meta platform, I keep seeing reports where cost of acquisition is high, it's working, it's not working, it's broken, it's not working, it's spending money, things like that. And of course there is the whole thing about your account getting blocked. For example, my account was blocked last Friday or Thursday for no reason whatsoever. It's just that I was trying to broadcast a Zoom meeting into a Facebook group and into my Facebook group, by the way, and Facebook just blocked me saying, oh, I've been engaged in inauthentic behavior, I've been hacked and whatnot, and blocked my account, and they forced me to change my passwords and whatsoever. Anyway, with that, that's the highlight you need to know from Snapchat. Snapchat is a platform with augmented reality, is growing. However, if you are not into AR or if you're not targeting Gen Zers, then probably this is not the platform for you. Okay. Talking about short form video, TikTok has launched an interactive add-ons. I will tell you, this is pretty cool. So typically, let me break it down for you. Typically, ads are like very monotonous, right? Where it says buy now, shop now, things like that. TikTok has given this opportunity where you could actually add things like swipe to unlock and, other fancy things where they're saying now people will be compelled to engage, right? Because this is something new. And while it's new, I'm pretty sure meta platforms are going to start copying it because they're going to say, oh my God, they came out with this nice thing that we don't have. Let's copy it. But by the way, there are two different types of interactive add-ons. There are standards and premium. Per TikTok, standard add-ons offer a way to reach lower funnel marketing goals like driving clicks and conversions. Premium add-ons offer a way to reach upper funnel goals like brand awareness and community building. Both offer you a unique chance to capture people's attention in a format that resonates with them. That's what exactly reading from TikTok's announcement. However, the demo video I saw from TikTok on interactive add-on, it was really cool. Something new, something refreshing because, now, I saw one of the things where, there was an event and then you had to select, the message popped up after the video. It was like slide to unlock and you're sliding, right? It's not about always click on it. Okay, that's all there is about this update. Let's move on to the next update. Which is obviously a nice segue. Instagram Reels. Now you can create fundraisers directly in Instagram Reels. It was released on April 19th, 2022. And, right now it's available in over 30 countries. And you have connections to 1.5 million nonprofits. So if you're part of that nonprofit, you could actually, or if you believe in that nonprofit, you can create these things. It's just another way for Instagram to engage users and create causes on Reels, right? Because again, a lot of the younger generation believe in causes. They want to support causes. So if I see something that I believe in, I would be more likely to pay through Instagram Reels. And if I pay through Instagram Reels, the downstream effect is that, maybe I will also, Facebook or Meta, Instagram, whatever you call them, is going to store my credit card information. And now I would be more likely to purchase things on Instagram platform. Now, I do not know how many people are actually using Instagram shops and purchasing things from Instagram. Facebook doesn't share those numbers, which kind of tells me that they're not doing really cool. Because if it was, like, they're going to come out and say, you know what, we are crushing it, guys. Here it is, what our numbers are like. Just how, YouTube came out and said, oh, we had like 5 trillion views. People are like, so Facebook is still putting money in, betting on this horse where if we can get people into our, give us their credit card and do this checkout, things like that, maybe they will go ahead and, spend in Instagram shops and things like that. But anyways, nevertheless, this is an option that exists. So if you want to check it out, go ahead and check it out. Next up on this is like Meta has released Community for Brands Playbook. This is again for people who have Facebook groups and they're giving you some tips and tricks on how to grow your Facebook group, how to engage and things like that. So if you are someone like me where your group is not really taking traction because you do not have the right community person or you are still scratching your head, this is probably a good place to start. Again, I admit I am generally very, I'm generally bashing Facebook or Meta or Instagram in this podcast. However, I do like this thing that's coming out of Facebook or Meta just because, it's just giving you an idea. So check it out. I mean, it's let me see how many pages. It's a 39-page playbook. It's divided into 6 sections, each of which examines how to develop a community, essential resources for a community building, meta tools that can help, case studies that show how certain brands have already found successes with these methods. I will go ahead and put the link to the playbook in the show notes. Check it out. Okay. Lastly, for this week was Instagram's announcement, Instagram CEO Adam Mosseri's announcement that Instagram is going to start rewarding original content or probably give more priority on original content. What this basically means is all those IG channels that says, that are content aggregators. I mean, I do not know about you, but we get all these messages sometimes. Oh, post this on this channel, post this on this channel. So what's happening is people will, on some IG accounts, they will take content that's on yours and they will ask you to publish it on their channel so that, they get a lot of reward. And Adam is coming out and saying, hey, that's not fair. People who are creating original content should be rewarded, so they should get higher priority. Now, Adam did also say that, if content that is created outside of Instagram and uploaded to the apps will not be penalized. Obviously, so for example, if you have the same content on YouTube and on Instagram, they're not going to penalize you. However, keep in mind, Instagram did say that if your content has watermarks, so for example, if you download a content from TikTok and upload it into IG Reels, Instagram is going to, reduce the visibility or reduce the reach. So that's one thing you keep in mind. That still exists. It's just that, you can use the same content. It's just that it cannot have the watermark. That's number one. Number two, they're going to also look at posting history. So they're going to see, is this a one-time thing or is this something you constantly repost things? So if you are always remixing reels and things like that, they will probably look at it and they're going to reduce your reach again. So copying and pasting those top trending viral video clips will not really help you anymore with reach. So keep that also in mind. And the last thing they are saying is like, hey, listen, guys, we still do not have this algorithm figured out. Figuring out what is an original content and what is not is basically a work in progress. So we may miss once in a while, or we will miss most of the time, but keep in mind, because anyone can game the system. I love it how they're kind of coming out without a plan. They're just saying it. They're admitting like, what? Anyone can actually mix things up. Like you could take a clip and you could probably add a couple of other images, or you could superimpose that image with another image and another video and kind of do things. So that way, Instagram's algorithm doesn't detect that this is a content that has already been posted, and you can bypass those filters. Now, I wouldn't suggest that you do that. Shady people, dodgy people do that. I wouldn't suggest you do that unless you have a particular need, right? For example, you take a video clip of something happening and you want to report on it, and you could add your video on top of it and you can talk about it, things like that. But if you're trying to game the system, folks, that's not the right thing to do. Please don't do it. I'm just throwing some ideas, but nevertheless, now if you are creating original content on Instagram, you probably have a better chance. Now, I wouldn't definitely just focus on Instagram. If you're creating original content, post it on Instagram, post the same content on other channels like, LinkedIn or YouTube or TikTok, because we already do that. Create the content in different formats and for different environments, and we publish it out. If not, at least, you are active on all the social channels. It just takes extra 10 minutes to post it on different channels. Okay. With that, folks, that's it for this week in marketing. Now you know everything you need to know. Once again, this is your host, Sajid Islam. And if you want to read more about it, check out the show notes. With that, signing off. This is your host, Sajid Islam, signing off until next week. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in this week. It was a pleasure to serve you all. Hit the subscribe button so that you remember to sign on next week. Same place, same time for another round of This Week in Marketing.